Hello again, and welcome back to what I'm calling my journey as a dyslexic. My name is Alden Albino, and this series is on how I read, write, and speak French as a dyslexic. I happen to be on a year-long course, and I'm attempting to learn to do all of that in 1 year. Along with this series, I also discuss my feelings, my emotions, and thoughts as a dyslexic in Canada today. Today's video series is really on topic called The Big Question. Why are we here, and why do you or I exist? But before I go down that path, I'd like to dedicate this particular video to 5 individuals who have basically changed my life or helped me throughout my life, and definitely as I'm going through this journey as a dyslexic. So I'd like to start off with one and only unique individual, a gentleman named Andre. Why is he unique? He's the only man in this 5 series of different people. It makes him very unique because for some reason in my life I've never really been comfortable with male friends. Most of my friends are women. I don't know if it's because we're able to talk on the same plane. I've never understood that. But he is an absolutely brilliant man, strong, amazing, well-cultured, somebody that I appreciate his thoughts, his opinions on many subjects, and again, a very brilliant man. When I mentioned to him and his wife I was going through dyslexia, without a doubt they said to me the first 2 things I needed to hear was, 1, you're an amazingly hard worker, and 2, you're a brilliant person, and don't let anyone take that from you. And that made the world of difference to me, being diagnosed as a dyslexic. So thank you so very much for that, Andre. The second person, of course, is his charming and amazing wife, Christina. Christina is, again, another brilliant person in her own right. Amazing, trilingual, able to do many things. One of her favorite hobbies is when I go to her house to eat, they like to fat me up. Henceforth, you'll always see me in turtlenecks because you don't want you to see my double and triple chins. So that's why that's hidden there, and I'm always wearing them to hide that. But Christina has been another supporter of mine, who's there, understands what I'm going through, and has been absolutely brilliant. And I have to thank her personally for that. The next person, or third person on my list, the person called Catherine, who I've known for 10 years. Another person in my corner when I mentioned the word dyslexia, and it felt like I was silly and ashamed, and always told me, no, you're brilliant, and I don't know what you have to be ashamed for. You're very smart, you're competent, you work hard, it's not you. Things I know that may sound like rhetoric, but coming from these people meant the world to me, and made me feel human and normal again. So I have to thank you again, Catherine, for that. The next person on my list I have known for 25 years, an amazing woman. Her name is Rosemary, an accomplished teacher, singer. I don't think anything she cannot do when she puts her mind to it. Brilliant person, as I said, a teacher, an educator who has dedicated her life to helping others. I can't say enough about how amazing she has been. In fact, today's video, she reminded me of the reason I'm doing this series, and the reason I want to tell you this particular information, because I really believe and know my reason for being on this planet. Again, I thank her for being there throughout my life, and teaching me and showing me so many things. An amazing woman, and thank you so very much for that, Rosemary. Chantel is the last person, last but not least, codenamed Yellow Rose. She is absolutely amazing. Have you met people in your person in your life that you seem to have known somewhere, somehow, feel comfortable with? But that's not all. Strong, smart, funny, dedicated to helping others. Right now we're in the midst of the coronavirus, and when it came time to make, I believe, the right choice, there was no question in her mind, and she stood up and did what was needed, what had to be done to protect others and take care of those. But again, that's partly because a good person inside, very strong. But for me, has been there when I mentioned again that I am indeed dyslexic, said that means you're brilliant, and I had no doubt that you were. These words from these 5 people, because of who they are, helped me deal with a lot of what I'm going through, especially now on this particular French course, and I have to thank them for it. So let's move on into the big question. Why are we here, or why do you or I exists. The reason I think I am here, I think I have found the answer. It may sound a little selfish, but I think for me the answer is very clear. I am here to help dyslexics deal with the challenges that Canada has thrown in front of them. The reason I think this, and is quite clear in my mind, I have dealt with a lot of challenges from the day I was born. I found out later on in life, first challenge, out of my hands, I guess, I was born a twin. And my twin died at birth, and I guess it was between my twin and myself, and I was the one that was lucky enough to be born and live and walk on this amazing planet of ours. So I think that was one of the signs given to me to move forward and try and help. It's interesting when we talk about twins. I've always felt there was something or somebody guiding me or pushing me forward to do things, and I believe, or watching over me, and that was my twin. I remember two particular incidences where, again, I should have died. One particular one being a stupid little child. I got off the school bus one day and some piece of paper flew under the bus wheel. So dumb me decided to poke my head under the bus wheel, which was like right here, to go grab whatever it was. And I go to grab it, but as I'm about to pull it, something or someone pulled me back. So I was about to turn around and ask them if they'd lost their mind. And as that happened, and they pulled me out of the way of the wheel, the big wheel drove right by. And I look back, and there is no one there. So thank you so very much for, I'm assuming, my twin for taking good care of me then and helping me down the road to, I believe, continue on with helping Canadians and dyslexics. The next incident where I believe my twin has always been guiding and watching me over me was an incident where I had a horrific car accident where I should have died. I was strapped in, done everything I did. The car ended up being up on a post. However, for me, I ended up tossed out of my car, my seatbelts disconnected, and gently placed along the side of the road. I understand later on that the paramedics had shown up very casually, assuming I was dead anyhow because of what had happened. So I believe, again, my twin was involved in helping me there. So again, thank you so very much for taking care of me. It sounds silly. I'm not very religious, but I am very spiritual, so I do believe that someone is helping me and moving me forward in those sort of directions. The next big thing in my life, I found out later on in life, I am asthmatic. Wow, shocking. One of the things I've read lately when it comes to dyslexics is our immune systems are compromised, and that we will have, guess what, occasional seasonal asthmatic episodes, which I ran into more than once. Issues where I thought I was going to die. One of them happened to be in Europe, where I had to be rushed to the hospital on an adventure when I was there. So again, another tick in the box of me sticking around for some reason on this planet, and I am not sure what it is. Just after that car accident, which I had mentioned earlier, an incident happened there too. I was running into a problem, and they had found out during the car accident that I am beta minor. So there are two types, beta major and beta minor. And beta major, if I remember correctly, the stats, I'm not looking it up today, I haven't looked it up. If you have a major, beta major, you will probably lifespan is around 10 to 12 years. Beta minor, it's a bit longer, well, longer. You don't have that problem. You have to be on a special diet, which I really never have been. So I mean, you know, kind of cat-like, 7 lives, but live longer. So my understanding of beta minor, I'll put it up on this particular video. Beta minor or major is the blood formation. Your blood is formed very differently, and the way it picks up oxygen isn't correct or efficient, and it causes you problems with breathing. So for me, not enough oxygen. So a lot of the time as a kid, I'd be yawning and people would be assuming I am bored or I'm not listening to them. It was my body's reaction to taking in oxygen because I'm not taking in enough oxygen. So it's to be one of those situations there. So finally, there's another check in the box as to what is happening there. Well, being a minor, depending on which way it went, I would have ended up dying. And the last little kick in the box just happened. I am dyslexic. Really tough issues for me as a kid. Reading and writing, absolute struggle. I literally had to memorize everything I did when it came to reading and writing. Painful. The amount of feelings I had, the shame, the embarrassment, the fear. I can remember up into my 20s afraid to even write my own name for fear of people laughing at me. It's very disheartening and very tough for me to have dealt with as a person. But now with this diagnosis, it has both healed and opened up a lot of old wounds and reminded me of how I've been treated. Again, this is why I believe I've been sent here. With all those things happening and I'm still on this planet, there must be a reason for me to be here. And I believe that reason is to make Canada aware of how dyslexics feel and are being treated as people. And why I say that, the way I feel, again, reminds me right now on the French course how I felt as a child. The shame and the embarrassment, the stress, the pain, the fear of going to school every day is absolutely horrific. The pain, both physical, I have massive headaches every day, is beyond imaginable. And the pain inside of always thinking you're not good enough is very tough for dyslexics. And the way people treat dyslexics, and I guess I should say us, is horrific. Because you basically are taking away our dignity, our self-respect, our self-worth. You're basically killing us. And when I say us, I mean the 20% of Canadians. I mean the 7.4 million Canadians. Because we feel not worthy. But in my case, I'm very, very lucky. I have great friends who help me there. But I can imagine those who do not have access to people like I do, the thoughts that might go in through their minds. And again, this is why I want people to read, to watch these videos, to understand what is going through, not necessarily a typical dyslexic, but one person, and how maybe others feel, and how we need to change the way we view dyslexics, view those with learning disabilities, and change the laws that now govern the land in Canada. Going back to very quickly, again, we need to stop asking the question of bilingualism for the test for the government, because if it is indeed stopping dyslexics from getting jobs, it is discriminatory. So, not as happy as some of my videos have been, but I wanted you to understand why I believe, and answer the big question, why I'm here. I am here to help my school, dyslexics, and Canada understand what dyslexics are going through. Thank you again for being here. I enjoyed my time with you. Take care and have a great day. Bye now.